Now, the rest of the story.
And welcome back. I think this is the video everybody has been waiting for. Tillage is officially started for this spring. I got a pretty good start on it. I ran it till, well, I started at 7 o'clock that night, or last night, and I ended up running till about 5 in the morning. Tomorrow night there's another video on tillage because I did a follow-up video at, sometime after midnight. And the reason I did this is because it's raining out right now. I talked to my friend Ryan. You guys hear me talk about him a lot, but it seems how he's another farmer, and of course he's a friend. We kick different ideas and our thoughts about the current farming situation back and forth with each other, and he did just make the comment that they're saying rain this whole week, which I pretty well had figured out already, but it's supposed to rain. Well, for the amount of rain that we got today, we're shut down for 2 or 3 days right there. And the problem is, at the end of the 2 or 3 days, they're saying rain again, at least for the rest of the week. So if we lose a week of chisel plowing or a week of field work, that's going to put us into the middle of April already, which is not something that any of us are looking forward to, because we want to get our oats in the ground and we want to be able to get going planting corn when we want to get going. Myself, I like to aim for the 25th of April. It's not a concrete set in stone date that we're going to start, but generally if conditions are good, I have no problem starting to plant April 25th. I believe the insurance date is actually the 15th of April. Memory serves me right. So definitely a little bit of a push to get going. That's why I ran as late as I did. All of our new seeding, let me rephrase that, all of our ground that has to be seeded down to oats, for the most part at my brother's place, is done. We do have one field yet, which we could probably do in about 4 hours. I mean, we'd do it right ahead of the grain drill if we absolutely had to. But for the most part, we have all of my dad's new seeding ground worked up and ready to go. It worked up like a garden. That's what my friend Ryan said when he called me last night, or not last night, it's been a couple nights ago, 3 nights ago, when he was out working at like 8 o'clock in the night, and he said exactly that. He's like, well, it's working up like a garden. He says, I didn't think it'd work up as nice as it is, but he says it's go time. So me being the person I am, and the fact that it only got drier, because we got up in about the 70s the day I filmed this video, and it dried out the ground that much more. So I figured, what the heck, let's go ahead and try it. And it seems like you're always racing rain, and that's exactly what it turned into for this video. But a good side note, why you always want to start doing field work of most sorts at your home farm really close to the buildings, is because I had an issue. Not with the chisel plow. The chisel plow worked flawlessly last night. The problem I actually had was with the 4640. I had a busted wire on it. I was noticing that the alternator, the batteries, weren't charging. It was actually pulling all of my electrical power off of my batteries. With a little bit of investigating, it didn't take a whole lot, but I see that one of the wires that goes into the alternator was pulled out of a connector. So I ended up cutting them both clean and put a new connector on it, and it worked great. But that is why it's a little bit easier, better, well, it's just a smart move to go ahead and like work close to the buildings, because it took me maybe 10 minutes to finish this field up, because it didn't take me a whole long to do this little acre or so. And then pulled up the machine shed, cut some wires, and I was ready to go again. So especially with, I think most people that came for the farm days recognize the field I'm in. This was the parking lot field. You can see a pretty good look at the ground right now. There's nothing coming up. There's a little bit of alfalfa coming up, but it's very few and far between. And the current plan is to either seed it back down and see if we can get an alfalfa stand to take. If that really doesn't work for us, I guess we can just go ahead and plant it to soybeans and then go back through next year and plant it down to alfalfa. Well, we do need to up our hay acres a little bit. We do have a little bit of hay in the sheds yet, and the plan is to either, well, to feed it out as we need it, but then we get to the point where we let the cows out to the pasture. If we still have hay in stock, we're going to probably pull them out and level out the hay sheds, or at least pull out of the hay shed that actually has a dirt floor and level that out a little bit more because it's got a little bit of a slant to it, and then stack the hay right back in, and we'll use it for next year. Because with the added 20 some cows that we have this year, having to go in for a full year next year, a full winter with those cows, it's going to be a little bit harder on our hay supplies. The weather warmed up. We've hit the 60s, we've hit 70s at least once. It's currently 55 degrees out right now as I talk to you. The cows have really dropped off in the amount of feed that they're actually going through. And they've dropped down to, well, we were feeding them every other day. We're feeding them about every third day now. Like today, I have to go out and feed at least one lot. Everything at Ryan's place is good, and everything at my place. The first part of the week or so, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, they're probably going to need something. Brittany just went out and checked them this morning. Yeah, she said she just went out and saw this morning that they still have some hay left. So as far as the cows at my place, they're doing good. And as far as calves go, Ryan is doing really good in the calf department. He hasn't had any issues. They've all had calves on their own. He only has like 6 or 7 actual first calf heifers. Everything else of his are second or third calf cows, and they're all really nice cows. He's actually been getting some pretty good compliments for them because they're quiet, they're nice. They're a little protective of their babies, but not overly mean about them just yet. But we're not stupid enough to trust any cow. Been helping Ryan here when he's been going out to tag his calves, and Ryan's pretty happy. He likes having his cows. Dad and myself, Dad's cows are due to start calving here in another 2 weeks. I think they're set for right around the end of April. And same thing with mine. Mine could actually drop any time now. So I've been kind of keeping an eye out on mine. And I think everybody that, well, I can't say that because I know I have a bunch of new subscribers, but I have a very huge cow herd of 2 cows and a heifer. And I'm growing my herd. So at least the 2 cows, I'm not sure if I bred the heifer back yet. I don't know if I really got her in with the bull in time. But as far as the cows go, I should have at least 2 calves coming this spring yet. I'm hoping for heifers. I'm trying to naturally grow my herd. If I have some money around, I'm probably going to do one of 2 things. I'm either going to go buy a couple more heifers and at least get up to maybe 10 cows. Because just a trailer load of feeders to sell in the fall would, well, everything helps. Or I'm going to start putting a little bit more of my cash, my input, or my extra money, if I should say that, towards my inputs, my crop inputs for the following year this fall. So it's less money I have to worry about trying to borrow from the bank and have to pay interest on. So buying fertilizer or corn seed is kind of where it's at right now. Fertilizer, to be honest, is actually where I would probably throw it towards and try to get my fertilizer on in the fall. At least that way you're not worrying about getting it this spring yet, because they were spreading fertilizer fairly early this year. Not quite as early as last year. The ground was a little bit soft, but not to the degree where they were destroying our soil structure. So as far as chiseling videos go, guys, you're probably going to be right there riding along. I don't know when we're going to be back out in the field. Basically, the way I did this, why I worked so late, is because I really was trying to get all of our new seeding ground at least worked up, and then obviously once I got that done, anything else above that is just gravy, because everything else that has to be chiseled still really should get chiseled. So that's why I had to push just to keep going. But now at least that the new seeding is done, it's worked up, the next time it dries out that we can start doing field work, maybe it's going to be a divide and conquer thing. If we can get Dad Ryan in here, get Dad and Ryan seeding oats, while Ryan working the ground down, whatever. I'll probably help Dad load seed, and somebody else, well, that's all 3 of us. Otherwise, if I can get Dad and Ryan going, maybe I'll just go chisel plow. I'm not sure, but I do like harrowing. So, because that's when it comes down to seeding, it does take a little bit of a crew. I mean, it takes somebody to work ahead of the grain drill. It takes somebody to actually run the grain drill. It takes somebody to harrow. And honestly, it is nice having that extra person there, a fourth person, or that person that runs the harrow, helping Dad fill the grain drill so he can keep moving. Because we can do about, 15 acres, 20 acres in a day, I think it is. So that's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Take it easy. Keep in touch. Stay tuned for future videos because things are really starting to ramp up and get excited around here.